ex-Amish woman is fighting to bring awareness about a dark secret happening in the Amish community.
Well, most people think of the Amish as a simple keep-to-themselves community. Jamie Perez spoke to a woman who shares her horrifying truth about what's been happening for years.
The Amish people are always known for their horse-drawn buggies, simple clothes, and their non-technological lifestyle.
So he met this chick on the internet, which is sketchy.
The internet?
Yeah, it's like a series of computers that are connected through...
Computers?
But ever wondered how they manage daily hygiene, especially the women, without all the modern technology we use today?
300,000 Amish settlers live right here in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and they are known primarily for three things: simple living, plain dressing, and avoidance of modern technologies.
No running water, no fancy shampoos, no electric hair dryers, which has led to many misconceptions concerning their hygiene. What could be these misconceptions? And if true, what does it mean for the Amish people? Join us as we dive into the untold truth of the Amish people's hygiene, the hygiene practices of Amish women. As much as we tend to think of the word hygiene, we do think or associate our showers with our shampoos, body washes, deodorants, and more. However, there have been some misunderstandings that for an Amish woman, their hygiene practices are a little different. Most people believe that Amish women follow a more unrefined and a more or less authentic way of life and use products that not many of us would use today, but you couldn't be more wrong. The thing is, in real life, Amish women just use simpler techniques and natural products to sustain cleanness.
Stop! You don't need to use toxic chemicals to clean your kitchen. Instead, use a simple surface cleaner using the power of essential oils to make your home toxin-free.
Handmade cleaning products using herbs and oil rather than commercial products. A lot of the hygiene products used by the Amish women are homemade by them, but it certainly doesn't make them any less hygienic than the next person. One of the most frequent things they make is soap good, a traditional, authentic bar soap, which is made from natural ingredients like lye and tallow, which is rendered animal fat. It is something which has been practiced for many years and, believe it or not, does the same job that a product you buy from the store does. These soaps have either no added fragrances or have very mild natural oils fragrances, and this is not a coincidence. The Amish women are very down-to-earth with their outlook on life, which is why everything about them is simple and to the point, their goal being to use what is at their disposal and is natural. Due to the fact that Amish people do not accept vanity and luxury, you will not notice that an Amish woman uses commercial cosmetics if, of course, she has them at all.
Amish women usually don't wear makeup or cut their hair because that's like praising themselves when you're supposed to praise God.
It is not all about cost, but several other things. As to why Amish women continue using these old methods of hygiene, they accept the sheer fact that they should work with nature. The concept here is to eliminate anything that is synthetic or toxic, and therefore they do not use any aggressive chemicals or contemporary additives. These include stuff like herbal remedies and simple natural approaches, which even though are contrary to what many of us are accustomed to get the job done. In Amish culture, it is understood that women have to keep their hair long because it is religious. They believe that long hair is a sign of femininity, modesty, and chaste, as embraced by the interpretation of the Bible. Anything that has to do with the head or hair is off limits. Rather, this is complemented with very good natural care of the hair, having it grown out and taken very good care of. However, when it concerns the washing routine of Amish women, they have their organic hair care method definitive for them as they continue to lead an Amish life. It might sound cliché, especially when you cannot see them strolling around Google or online searching for the best hair shampoo or conditioner. They do not even bother with hair care as people from modern society are expecting them to do. It is this misconception that long-haired Amish women
Rosa Ramirez is ready for a change, so she's doing what a lot of women do. She's cutting her hair, 4 feet of it, for the first time in 25 years.
A lot of my friends have been asking me when I'm going to cut it for years.
are portrayed as individuals who do not take proper care of the hair as they grow, mainly because they just employ the natural and simple solutions in concord with the principles of Amish non-chemical lifestyle. On the contrary, Amish women appreciate cleanliness and decent dressing codes, and long hair are in fact the sign of a dedicated woman and Amish religion. They either weave it or coil it up with a bonnet for convenience and discretion. Despite this, they do not use commercial hair products, but they follow natural and simple hair regimes that would ensure the hair is clean and healthy as recommended by their beliefs or lifestyle. Another truly intimate aspect of hygiene is the menstrual care, and it's something we often wonder about when thinking of more traditional communities like the Amish. But of course, Amish women do not stay barefoot and pregnant, so they do know how to handle their periods, but it is definitely nothing like what the modern woman has in her purse. As for feminine hygiene, many Amish women employ the use of cloth pads, which they themselves manufacture. These pads are washable and reusable, and this concept
Why is your cloth pad moving around or sliding around, and how to fix it? And we make reusable menstrual pads in the best quality that you'll ever find on the market.
will be in harmony with the Amish belief you should not waste things, but use them up. Though you might think that using cloth pads can bring back all the old-fashioned ideas into scope, yes, they are back to a certain extent in today's world of environmental concerns. In fact, all these pads are considered as an economical and environmentally friendly product compared to the disposable one that we normally find in the market. It is also worth mentioning that menstruation is considered a private issue in the Amish culture, similarly to most other cultures with patrilineal traditions. It does not exist to talk about, and there are no flowing conversations about it with men. Everything is kept low-key. A woman subtly takes care of her needs and also educates them to her daughter without much fuss. The idea is to handle it in a way that doesn't draw attention. It's just another part of life, after all. One of the biggest misconceptions about the Amish people is that they don't bother to maintain their teeth. But this couldn't be further from the truth. That is to say, in every house, even Amish women brush their teeth, but just maybe not with the same kind of products you're used to seeing. Some of the Amish women make their own toothpaste, and this is by using baking soda with a little water. Some may even use a pinch of salt.
A dentist at Ohio State University says there are no clinical reasons to brush your teeth with salt because it doesn't have any whitening effects.
This simple paste gets the job done without the need for chemicals or artificial flavors. In regard to the toothbrushes, they do not necessarily use those expensive electric toothbrushes, but still use the standard ones. They may even paint one themselves from natural materials, including wood or animal bristles, for example. However, dental care in the Amish community is sometimes lacking, not because they and their teeth do not need it, but because they do not have the same opportunities for dental care as most of us do. People almost never go to the dentist, and when they do, it is not for a checkup or even a filling, but extraction. In the matters of water, washing and bathing, much to our surprise, the Amish certainly do not operate in the contemporary way that most of us do. Well, they don't use pipes like we do today, and observing them in those long dresses and trousers, you might be tempted to ask how they ever got clean. The truth is, they have their own practical methods that align with their simple lifestyle and religious values. First off, water is frequently taken directly from wells or hand pumps if the boreholes are not available. What we see or would expect today is that they would open the tap and get water, but Amish women might have to go and fetch water from a well outside their house, or use a rain barrel that collects water. They don't have the kind of water that comes hot with the push of a button like we do, but it's something they grew up with. Although there's no strict rule across all Amish people, they bathe less often than people in contemporary society do. Children might take a shower daily, as well as adults, but some families may shower only once or twice a week at most because of their convenience. That's not to say that they don't appreciate cleanliness, they absolutely do. A common misconception surrounding Amish women and the Amish community at large is the belief that they don't bathe regularly or maintain proper hygiene. This misunderstanding may stem from their simplistic lifestyle, which often excludes modern conveniences such as running hot water and indoor plumbing. Because they are known for avoiding many aspects of modern technology, people sometimes assume that their hygiene practices are outdated or neglected. Although when it comes to bathing, most of the Amish homes do not have standard all-enclosed, what we call bathrooms today. Instead, baths may be in a basin or have a very basic tub whereby the water is boiled in the kitchen on the stove. Bath water is generally used by the whole family, with each starting with the youngest and advancing to the seniors. It might seem very unusual to us, but it's a practical way to manage water usage when every drop has to be fetched and heated manually. Similar to other aspects of their dressing, Amish women are shy when it comes to washing, and so they normally do it at secluded places, not easily seen. It includes even their dressing sense and the use of hotels, where they care so much about dignity and respect for their bodies, like in the washroom. In short, while the population of Amish people may not be able to take a hot shower by turning the knob after a tiring day at work, certainly they've developed methods that work for them, ways that align with their values of simplicity, modesty, practicality, and efficiency. Even though they are not accustomed to the comforts of contemporary society, hygiene is an important part of their daily life. Let's dive into the history and background of the Amish people. The Amish people, history, and background. The Amish are a population of people with a distinct way of life. They originated from Europe in the late 17th century for their beginning, and were formed as a part of the Mennonite group.
Have I mentioned I grew up in a Mennonite community? That's little Cornelius right there. The photo was taken in Paraguay, where I was born, and we speak a language called Plotich. It's a German dialect with a little sprinkling of Dutch on top.
The Mennonites themselves were part of this larger Anabaptist tradition, which emerged during the time of the Protestant Reformation. You should know that the Anabaptist name originated from their foundational belief, which is their practice of baptizing people who were already adults, unlike other Christian churches who baptized infants. This was a belief that they held on adult baptism. They did not baptize children because no one should force himself into the presidency of Christ, and it is only right and proper to follow Christ voluntarily. This group of people, known today as the Amish, originated under the leadership of Jacob Ammann, a Swiss Mennonite elder. Ammann was concerned that the Mennonites were becoming too lenient in their religious practices and were not maintaining the strict discipline he believed was necessary for a true Christian life. However, in the year 1693, Ammann and his followers seceded from the Mennonite Swiss Brethren, forming their own distinct group. This split was on the basis of doctrine and practice, including practice of shunning. This is seen as social avoidance of excommunicated members to encourage repentance and return to the community. In flight from persecution and in a hope to find religious liberty, Amish moved to North America early in the 18th century. The first large-scale influx of the Amish people came into the United States in the 1730s in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania was liberal in welcoming the persecuted groups of people, especially under the governorship of William Penn, who posted a policy of tolerance on religious practice. Even as members of the Amish continued to migrate to other regions of the United States and Canada, a bigger percentage of them still reside in Pennsylvania. The Amish are best known for their simple living, plain dress, and reluctance to adopt many conveniences of modern technology. The Amish believe that modern technology and the pursuit of material wealth can lead to pride, individualism, and a weakening of the bond that holds a community. Therefore, they choose to live without many of the conveniences that most people don't take for granted, such as electricity, automobiles, and telephones. Amish dress is another distinctive aspect of their culture. Men typically wear broad-brimmed hats, dark trousers with suspenders, and plain shirts. Women wear long dresses with aprons and bonnets.
This is what an Amish woman has to wear to go to church: the white cape and apron, and a dark colored dress. It doesn't have to be black. The black dress is worn when an Amish woman dies. She's buried in these clothes specifically.
The clothing is usually made from plain, solid-colored fabrics and is designed to be modest and functional. This plain dress serves as a constant reminder of their commitment to simplicity and humility. The Amish are part of the Anabaptist tradition, which emphasizes adult baptism, non-violence, and a separation from the state. They use horse and buggy transportation and speak a Pennsylvania German dialect in their daily lives and church services. Their lifestyle and beliefs are deeply rooted in their Christian faith, focusing on humility, family, and community. Despite their traditional ways, the Amish have managed to thrive and maintain their distinct culture in the modern world. The Amish community is organized around the church district, which is a group of about 20 to 40 families who live in close proximity to one another. Each church district is autonomous and makes its own decisions about religious practices and community rules. Church services are held in the homes of members on a rotating basis, rather than in a dedicated church building. These services, which last for several hours, include hymns, Bible readings, and sermons, and are conducted in Pennsylvania German. One of the most important aspects of Amish life is the concept of Gelassenheit, which can be translated as submission or yieldedness. This concept emphasizes the importance of humility, obedience, and community over individualism and self-will. Gelassenheit is reflected in all aspects of Amish life, from their plain dress and simple living to their emphasis on community and mutual aid. The Amish have a strong pro-education culture, though it differs significantly from public schooling norms. Amish children typically attend one-room schools taught by Amish teachers. These schools focus on basic skills like reading, writing, and math, along with practical activities useful for daily life. Formal education ends at grade 8, after which boys and girls begin learning their roles in the community. Also, historically, the Amish people have been known primarily as a farming community, sustaining their families through small-scale subsistence farming.
In this old Amish community where armed federal agents recently raided Miller's organic meat and dairy farm, the government is arguing that the farm isn't adhering to federal regulatory requirements concerning food.
Their way of life revolved around maintaining a deep connection to the land, reflecting their values of simplicity, hard work, and self-sufficiency. Farming allowed them to live in accordance with their religious principles, which emphasize humility, community, and separation from the materialism of the modern world. In this context, small-scale farming was ideal because it enabled the Amish to lead a simple life, free from many of the distractions and complexities of industrialized society. The focus was on sustainability, producing enough to provide for their families, with any surplus often shared within the community. However, in more recent years, economic pressures and the rising cost of farmland have led to significant changes within the Amish community. As farmland becomes increasingly expensive and harder to obtain, many Amish families have had to explore alternative ways of earning a livelihood. While farming remains a core part of their heritage, a growing number of Amish people have diversified their income sources. In response to these economic challenges, many have turned to small business ventures such as carpentry, construction, woodworking, and crafts. These trades allow them to remain connected to their traditional values by working with their hands, preserving a strong sense of community and avoiding reliance on the broader economy. The shift to small business activities has provided the Amish with an opportunity to engage more frequently with the outside world, albeit on their own terms. For example, Amish carpenters or builders may take on construction projects for non-Amish clients, whom they refer to as the English. Similarly, Amish craftsmen and artisans often sell their handmade furniture, quilts, and other goods at farmers' markets or local shops, which creates a bridge between the Amish and the broader society. Despite these interactions, the Amish remain deeply committed to their principles, carefully selecting the aspects of the modern world they wish to engage with, while safeguarding themselves from influences they believe could compromise their way of life. While the Amish do not entirely isolate themselves from the rest of the world, they maintain a selective engagement with it. Their interactions with non-Amish individuals are often centered around practical necessities, such as buying food, conducting business, or bartering goods. However, they are cautious about allowing outside influences to infiltrate their community. The Amish value their distinct culture, which is built on religious faith, communal bonds, and a rejection of the materialism and individualism prevalent in contemporary society. As a result, they strive to limit exposure to certain aspects of the modern world that they believe might erode their values or distort their worldview. This selective engagement is particularly evident in the way the Amish approach technology. While they are not entirely opposed to technological advancements, they carefully evaluate each one to determine whether it aligns with their values. For instance, many Amish communities permit the use of certain tools and machinery in their businesses, such as diesel-powered engines or hand tools, but they typically avoid using electricity from the public grid or owning personal vehicles. This approach allows the Amish to maintain a balance between interacting with the outside world for practical purposes and preserving the simplicity and integrity of their way of life. One of the most well-known aspects of Amish culture is the practice of Rumspringa.
Amish rite of passage known as Rumspringa, when young men and women are allowed to embrace everything that is forbidden in their culture, including alcohol, cigarettes, and now the internet.
Which means running around in Pennsylvania German. This is a period of adolescence, during which Amish youth are given more freedom to explore the outside world and decide whether they want to be baptized and commit to the Amish way of life. During Rumspringa, young people may dress in modern clothes, drive cars, and experience aspects of mainstream culture. While some choose to leave the Amish community, the majority decide to return and be baptized, committing themselves to the Amish faith and way of life. The Amish view toward healthcare is also quite different. They do not like going for a professional doctor to attend to their illnesses and diseases. Instead, they opt for herbal treatments and remedies rather than embracing modern technological ways of treating illnesses and diseases. Yet they do go for medical needs, and some of the Amish have been accredited with local hospitals' physicians to respect their culture and religion. The Amish have faced various challenges over the years, including legal battles over issues such as compulsory education and zoning laws. In many cases, they have been able to find compromises that allow them to maintain their way of life while complying with state and federal regulations. Their ability to adapt to changing circumstances while holding fast to their core beliefs is a testament to the strength and resilience of their community. The Amish, with their rich history, are often misunderstood. Their women's hygiene practices reflect simplicity, not neglect or disregard. What do you think about these misconceptions? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it